So today I'm going to share some amazing numbers with you about the real estate market nationwide and in Miami, and also my predictions of what's going to happen in the future. Because sometimes you'll read a bunch of stuff on the news, or you'll see stats and just stuff on the internet about the market. But typically the market, that the stuff that you're reading is stuff that has already happened, not what is happening at the moment. And actually being in the trenches and selling real estate, agents like me and our team and many others know what's going to happen typically before it happens. It's not a guarantee because sometimes things are off, but I wanted to share with you in a bit what my predictions are of the market and what's going on. So I'm going to first start by sharing my screen. So I'm going to share. So this morning, so Robert Refkin, he is the CEO of Compass. He is amazing. He updates us on what's going on in the market all the time. So this was an email he sent the team, all the people at Compass, all agents, as you can see. So Compass family. So I'm not going to get to everything in the email, but I wanted to share a few things with you. So this is basically, he's telling us like every economic downturn in history has slowed down the demand of buyers in the US to move, which is, sounds logical, but this downturn has been different. It has driven a new buyer demand across the country, and for many different reasons, people are moving. So yeah, so in our market, I'm in Miami, and sadly, I guess we are known as to many as the epicenter of the world for COVID-19. But with that said, even though that's taking place, our real estate market is really, really busy. So, and that's with a lot of places in the country. I know some aren't, and some people are going through struggles and stuff. And I'm not downplaying that whatsoever, but I wanted to share with you some of the stats and what's going on around the country. So one of the reasons why we have this demand, besides having this pent up demand from people not buying that much, I'm going to share some of the reasons. This is what Robert shared with us. So mortgage rates reached an all-time low in July, 2.98%. That was on average. So ridiculously low. 3% is really low. 4% is low. My first mortgage I got was, and I was so proud I got this. This was like in '01, I think. It was for 5%, which was amazing back then. But this is almost half of that. So mortgage applications are up significantly. So in 30, we were up 33% just up in the week of July. So today is July 27th, and it's about like less than 2 o'clock today, Eastern. And so that's to give you an idea of what I'm going over. So so up 33% compared to last year. National home sale activity rebounded. Existing home sales in June rebounded 20.7% month over month. So typically, I don't like to get into detail so much like stats and stuff on market reports, because a lot of times this just really will relate to certain people, analytical people. But in this case, I thought it was important because I haven't done that in a while with a lot of stats, and then I'll dumb it down a little bit later. And I'm not going to go over too many stats anyways. So single family home sales soared to the highest rate in 13 years. We were actually up 13.8% up year over year. So this is nationwide. This isn't Miami, and I'll get into Miami a little bit later. So home prices are at an all-time high. Median existing home prices grew 2.8% to an all-time high. Home builder sentiment. So there's this home builder sentiment. You have different scores and stuff based on, the confidence and all that. And we're at the highest since 1999. And this is the last thing. This is the last thing about the nationwide thing. many people, because of social distancing, because they're staying at home, people were never so intimately aware of the inadequacies of their home. And because of that, more people want to move. So I'm going to share my other screen. So I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to go to another screen to share. So these are going to be stats of Miami-Dade County. So I'm going to share it now. Let's see if I can do it. So share, and let me move this. You probably can't see that. Well, maybe you can. Anyways, so this is the second quarter of 2020. These are sold properties in Miami. So because the second quarter of 2020, I'm going to share with you what there is. So average price was 340,000, which was an 11.5% increase year over year. Median square footage is up almost 8%, $225 square foot. Number of listings we have are 294. So this would be, this is actually the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken, because it's so small there. Or maybe, you know what, I'm mistaken. This is the second quarter. This number is so much smaller than some of the other numbers. So our listings have gone down significantly. Our listing volume has gone down significantly. Median negotiability has gone down. So negotiability is worse actually, minus 4.2%. So let me dumb this down a bit and get to the numbers that more people care about. So when people look at our market in Miami, we have single family homes and then we have condos and townhouses. So right now, because of COVID, we are selling more single family homes than we have in the past because people want more space. They don't want to be confined to a smaller place. They want a yard and all those other things. So single family homes that are selling, it's 62%, nearly 63% of the volume that's being sold. And then, there's multifamily co-ops that they hardly ever exist here. In New York, obviously, there's a lot. So 62% and 33% are condos. So almost double single family homes that are selling compared to condos. So these are the things that are selling. The price range from 0 to 500,000. 83% of the sales are there. And on average, I guess the median price, if I'm not mistaken, is that the median price? Median price, but I guess on average, stuff is selling for, where was it? Sorry. Oh, 0 to 500. The average price was 315 within the 0 to 500,000. That was probably the median price within that range. And then 83% are sold within that price range. Then between 500, I guess 501 to $1 million, we have 13.6% of the sales that are there. So within that range, the median price was about 556,000. And then stuff that's $1 million to $3 million is 1.2 on average on median price, and 3.4% of sales are within that range. So I guess the bottom line is, this is why I don't go over numbers, because it's very confusing and it doesn't really mean that much. I'll leave this screen as I talk more so you can see actually what's selling: 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom. I think this is interesting. 38% of the inventory that's selling is 3 bedrooms, and 25% are 4+ bedrooms, and 27% are 2 bedrooms. I think that's interesting. This, whatever, this is just too many stats, and I probably didn't go over it that well, so my bad on that. Um, and this number for the median, which is higher, is because it's a mix of all of these. But with that said, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. So with that said, I just want to give you basically a dumbed down version of our market. So our market, 0 to 5 single family homes are hot, as you can tell, because like 63% that are sold are single family. So basically 2/3 of the properties selling are single family homes, which is higher than normal. 1/3 are condos. Of COVID, people want bigger spaces. And also they're hard to show. It's hard to show a condo because of COVID. Some buildings don't allow that. It's just very, very difficult. And people want to get single family homes. So another thing is our market is busier than it normally has been. Our single family home market inventory is less than it used to be because people took their homes off the market and they weren't selling during that time. Um, and also during this time, there were buyers that wanted to buy. People had to buy, not because they wanted to buy, but they had to buy. So there's pent up demand for that. And I mentioned in other videos when we first were able to start selling during COVID, we had like basically now when I show property, I have to have a mask on, have to have gloves, and in many properties, I have to take my shoes off or wear the shoe booties. So we had lots of properties in the beginning that have had many, many people seeing them, not at the same time, social distancing and all that, but many, many showings, many, many situations with multiple offers, with over asking price, closing sales and stuff like that, accepted offers that are higher than the asking price. And it's been like that in the mid range. Now, what I'm seeing is, and also the single family homes, as far as like the ultra luxury, like the, I don't know, 8 to 10+ million dollar properties, they were selling as well. They're still selling, but they're getting huge discounts, 20, 30, 40% off on some of these aspirational prices that people were asking. And quite a few celebrities have bought properties as well during this time here. Um, so with that said, my prediction of how the market is going to be. Oh, let me go back a step. So the mid-range was doing really well. The 1 million plus was doing, it was relatively busy compared to the circumstances. And the 0 to 500,000 single family homes were doing okay. They weren't doing great because people were in that price range. A lot of times either they weren't working, their jobs weren't as stable, or they lost their job, something like that. So that price range that was typically very busy wasn't as busy as it used to be. And then condos, just forget it. As you saw from what's selling, only 1/3 of the sales were condos. And the reason for that is, besides COVID, and I mentioned a few times about people wanting more space, it's also a lot of the condos we sell here are they're second, third, fourth homes or investment properties. People from other countries out of town would buy these properties. So they're not buying them as much as they used to, and within all price ranges. So now my prediction going forward, based on what I'm seeing, now I'm seeing that mid price range. It's a little bit slower than it used to be. We're still getting like many showings in these price ranges, but properties aren't selling as much over asking. Some of them are selling below asking. Some of them are, getting decent discounts. Some of the properties are staying on the market longer. They're not just coming on the market in this mid-range, having like, 5, 10 offers and then selling over asking within a few days. It's not like that anymore. Some of that stuff still happens, but that's not the norm. Now stuff is taking longer to sell. People are reducing prices. And also what I'm seeing is in the lower price ranges, that is starting to get busier. Even in the condo market, in the lower price points on the market. So Jade on our team had a property on the market. It was only for like 335, I think, and she was able to get a buyer under contract within a few days. So stuff is happening like that. So my prediction of what's going to happen is this: the pent up demand is going to start to slow down. We're going to start to get more inventory. Rates are probably going to remain low for a while. And also, the lower price points are going to start getting busier. The the luxury market, million plus or whatever, is going to always be a little bit slow. I think people are going to get big discounts. And like, just to give you an example, I had a closing the other day on Friday. Today's Monday. The property closed at $2.425 million. So roughly just under $2.5 million. This price was, the asking price was 2.6 million. So it wasn't much of a discount to my buyer, and because the market is hot. But I think going forward, there's going to be bigger discounts and maybe significantly bigger. So at the end of the day, if you're a buyer, is it a good time to buy? Yeah, it's a good time to buy. You can get deals. There's still some deals because there are people that have to sell. So there's gonna be opportunities. Also, obviously, our condo market, because we have so much inventory, you're always going to be able to get a good deal on that. So how's it going to be if you want to sell? Should you sell? So whether you buy or sell, the best time is always when you're ready. It doesn't matter what the market is, when you feel comfortable. So with that said, as far as like looking at it just like logically, like with numbers, is it a good time to sell? Yes, it is a good time to sell because there's still some pent up demand. It's going to be a little bit worse time to sell within a few months. It'll still be good, but not as good as now. So those are my thoughts about the market. Hopefully this gives insight. Sorry, I was a little bit clunky going over the stats with the nationwide market. I could have just told you, bottom line, in the nation, it's pretty busy. It's busier than the past, and there's lower inventory, and sellers are selling their homes quick. That's what I could have told you, but I tried to go over the stats, but I'm not going to do that in the future because it's too cumbersome. And if you guys ever have any questions about the market, about real estate, even if you need a painter, you need a tutor, you need a good recommendation for anything, I don't mind if I ever do business with you. I'm here just to help you guys. Obviously, if you do business with me, that's great, but it's okay if you don't. If you have a friend that's a realtor and you want to use them, that's fine. And you still happen to need a handyman or someone else, just reach out to me. The easiest way to find me is to just look at this video, and you'll see my contact information. You can call me, Will, Jade, whoever you want. Or you could look me up on, basically my hashtag is the Indian Realtor. So thanks so much for joining us. And if you got all the way to the end of this close to 20-minute video, you're amazing. And I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Love you guys. Be safe. Take care and all the best.